Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and, well, Nintendo have announced a new thing, and, I don't think anyone saw this coming. Nintendo Labo. Now, this is, this is a weird thing to say the least. Basically, if you don't know what it is, it's cardboard for the Switch. It's like toys. Basically, it uses your Joy-Con and your Switch in various interesting ways in order to provide new ways to play. It is primarily aimed at children, but I'm gonna get it anyway, I don't care. The basic idea is that you buy this kit, and it's kind of like a build-it-yourself series of toys made out of cardboard. Yes, we'll get onto that. And you slot your Joy-Con in, like, well, in various different ways, and sometimes you place your Switch, you know, console in the screen bit, and you can do all sorts of things by using really interesting and absolutely incredible techniques, like using the IR camera and reflective tape inside the thing so the IR camera can see the differences. Things just happen. I think the best and most impressive example is, without a doubt, the piano, which, well, I'm just going to show you. And yes, that's not using any additional hardware, any additional, you know, sort of electronics of any kind. It is just the Switch console that you bought and some cardboard with some reflective tape and maybe some elastic bands. The way that it works is the right Joy-Con with the IR camera goes in the back and looks, basically just with its camera-ness, at what's going on. I've turned that on by mistake. And inside the piano, you have these reflective strips of tape, and when you press the keys, this moves the tape, the Joy-Con sees the movement and knows to play a note through the Switch. It's mental. And the thing is, it doesn't stop there. There are so many other applications that we saw of this thing, such as, you know, like a sort of like a toy house. There was a sort of a motorbike steering type thing with a brake pedal, which is really interesting. Doesn't say that, but we know it's a brake pedal because my colleague was lucky enough to go and play with this before it was announced. There's also a fishing game which uses a line and you're pulling back on it and you're reeling in and stuff like that. Honestly, the amount of applications that they've already managed to integrate using just the Joy-Con and some cardboard and some tape and some strings and stuff, like really, you know, sort of base level creative materials is frankly absolutely incredible. Even if you don't like the idea and you're sort of looking at it and you're thinking, that doesn't really seem like my cup of tea, or you think it's too expensive or anything like that, you can't deny that the concept is absolutely incredible. It is a stroke of genius to take these raw materials and, with no expensive parts, just using the things that you bought with the Switch, make something entirely new. What I think is the single most impressive, however, is an entirely separate kit called the Robot Kit. And, in fact, no, there's a little robot to talk about as well. There's a little teeny tiny remote control robot, you know, sort of car type thing. It's very similar to the Hex Bugs from yesteryear. And basically you slide your Joy-Con onto the side of it, that way, not the other way. It rests on the ground and then you use your actual Switch console with two big buttons either side, touch buttons, to control it. So you're using your console to control your controller, which controls a little bug RC thing. It's bonkers. And there are little games that you play, like little sumo games if you've got multiple of them, if you have a friend round, or you've got multiple Joy-Con, and actually thinking about it, you probably need multiple Switches. I don't know for a fact, and it's like a little sumo ring, and it can tell when it's out of the ring or something. I don't know, I'm just going on like secondhand information at the moment. We really know very little. But without a doubt, in my mind, the single most impressive thing is the Robot Kit, because, well, just look at it. The way that this works is that by pulling on the different strings on your legs and your arms that your hands are attached to, it moves these reflective strips up and down. The Joy-Con sees this and translates it into movements in the game. And if you know your Nintendo, you probably might recognize this as basically Project Giant Robot. So it's nice to see they did something with that. It just looks absolutely insane. And I mean, where to even begin? Just look at it. This kind of thing, if it was actually a toy, would be incredibly expensive because it would be using lots of various sensors and things like that, whilst this is just some cardboard. This is just some cardboard and a special bit of software and the Switch that you bought to play Breath of the Wild. I am just genuinely flabbergasted about the whole thing. When I first saw it revealed, I thought, what is this? You know, sort of as a little bit. I was excited but skeptical to see whether it would actually have any real impact, and to see whether it was actually any good and whether it was just a novelty. But the actual number of applications are quite simply limitless. I'm gonna have to move this, it's starting to itch. I have seen a number of complaints, and you're always gonna get complaints and worries and niggles and things like that surrounding any kind of new release, and that's fair enough. It's understandable. Anything new is always a little bit scary. The number one that I've seen beyond, well, from the people who actually want it rather than the people saying this looks stupid, basically boils down to durability because it's cardboard and price. Yeah, this isn't that cheap. I mean, you sort of see it on the face of it and you sort of think, well, it's cardboard, it's gonna be nice and cheap. But it costs $70 RRP for, well, all of this. Whew, I mean, that's a little bit pricey. I even tweeted about it. This is what I said. Follow me. But having slept on it and actually thought about how much children's toys generally cost, because I don't generally get children's toys, funnily enough, anymore, don't have any children. A lot of people on Twitter pointed out that you're also getting the software and all the R&D that goes into it and stuff like that. So, I think it's a fair price. I don't think it's cheap. I don't think it's too expensive, maybe leaning slightly more towards the expensive side, but even so, it's very, very clever. But there is the issue of durability with the cardboard, because it is, at the end of the day, made of cardboard. Cardboard not being renowned for being very robust. But again, I think one of the joys of cardboard is the fact that you can just repair it yourself, and if, there is a part that's broken or something like that, you can just trace around the piece of cardboard that's broken, flatten it out again, and just make it again out of another bit of cardboard. Now, that might seem like a lot of work to a lot of people, and, to be fair, there is an element of that. But Nintendo will also provide all of the plans for all of the Toy-Con, as they're called, which is brilliant. All of the Toy-Con plans will be available online to download for free. And I don't think you can say fairer than that. If it does break, try and repair it. If it's not suitable, download the plans, buy a bit of cardboard for nothing, remake it yourself. Easy peasy. It's not a perfect solution, but there is no perfect solution to stuff like this. I mean, if they made it out of plastic, it would therefore cost more, and would people really want all of these big plastic things? You know what happened with the Wii and all of those peripherals and stuff like that, like the golf clubs you could buy? They were really genuinely stupid, weren't they? And there is the environmental advantage to this, which I'm sure some people really won't give two shakes of a monkey's tail about, but even so, I like it. I like it a lot. I'm quite environmentally minded. I, recycle as much as I can. And so the idea that you can buy all this stuff and then at the end of it, it can just be recycled and reused and stuff, I think is very laudable. In short, I have to say that I am just really bloody excited for this entire thing. I think it's absolutely genius. It's not without its problems, but nothing ever is without problems. And I think it's an absolutely stellar idea. I think they're taking a concept, they're taking something that everyone thought, if I can grab the right Joy-Con, they're taking something that everyone thought was useless, like the IR camera, and they're applying it, giving it a purpose in a really ingenious and clever way. And there are various other ideas. There are so many other ideas that Nintendo could employ into this to make it so that it goes beyond just, sort of little toys for children. We've seen in the original reveal that there's even somebody using like what appears to be a shotgun, so that could be used for, shooter games and stuff like that. The amount of ideas is genuinely staggering, and at the moment it's primarily aimed at children, but in the future, who knows? Honestly, I'm really bloody excited about this, and I know, I'm a Nintendo nerd, so there's going to be an element of that in there, but I do think in the future this could be something genuinely huge. If you want to learn more about Nintendo Labo, then we've got loads of articles up on Nintendo Life that can be adjusted, and there'll be new things that are added every so often. So if you want to find out more, there'll be a link in the description to find all of our lovely Labo articles. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you print out that subscribe button and fold it into an interesting shape, stick a Joy-Con in and create some mad idea. Nintendo, you're mental. And be sure to check out nintendolife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.